Okay, hope that's working. How goes it, folks? Just checking my own stream here. Okay, hey, how's it going? It's Brian from Tokyo Record Style. How do you do? It's Saturday morning here in Tokyo, and I am just, oh man, I had a really intense morning. Really intense morning. I felt like I wanted to come on to have a little decompression. Yeah, Saturday morning, I'm typically for the last month and a half, I've been hosting these sessions with my friend Andrea, who we've been coming on to do this podcast kind of thing called Ridiculous, which is sort of fish centric. But she's on the river. She's on the Colorado River, Yampa River, and she's not here this week. And it gave me the opportunity to make a video this morning. I just recorded a video, and oh my God, it was intense. I have a question for you. I have a question. The video I made today, I was so excited to share about it because I was very connected to the music that I wanted to talk about. I talked about some music, a record. I'm going to post it later today. But it was very emotional. It was a very emotional piece of music to talk about, and I got pretty more than pretty emotional on screen. And I am like, I don't know if I'm going to post it. It's pretty revealing. It's pretty vulnerable. I'm like, I mean, in a nutshell, I'm just kind of grieving the loss of a friend, but I'm doing it very openly. And if I post it online and it gets even just like, I'm kind of, what would you do? Would you put yourself on screen with yourself in a rather emotional state voluntarily? I don't know if I'm gonna do it because I just made it, and it's like a tribute to my friend, and so I'm just gonna do it. But I'm a little bit nervous about it. But it was an exciting, cathartic video to make. So I made that, and yeah, I'm just gonna riff here for I don't know a little while until the rest of as half of my crew is off at school and half of them are like sleeping in super late. So I have a little bit of time to riff, and I'm going to sit here and just riff on some new records that I got. I don't even know. I don't have any agenda, but I just want to come on and get online. If anybody wants to come up and chat with me, you're most welcome to follow me, send me a chat at Tokyo Record Style on Instagram. I'm actually I think my computer is really bogged down by the CPU. I've just got a lot of things going, so I'm not actually going to open a browser and go find things, but just go find me Tokyo. I'm probably if I'd go like Instagram.com/Tokyo Record Style. That'll get you there probably. Something like that. It's Saturday morning. Thank goodness the week is over. Another really, really busy week. I had the privilege to venture down to a part of Tokyo down on the bay, on the wharf, basically on Tokyo Bay, the Hinode Pier, this place where a lot of the ships come. There are some islands out in Tokyo Bay. I mean, they're all accessible by bridges and tunnels, but there's a water bus. There's like a handful, like a lot of boats on the Tokyo Bay. There's like big industrial ships, and there's little fishing boats, and there's party barges, and there's like even like the Coast Guard's out there, and there's big tankers out there, and there's a lot of stuff out there. They actually have these giant cranes that are in the warehouse areas where they take the containers off of the ships. And I know that George Lucas is from San Francisco, but I think I read somewhere that he got the inspiration for those AT-AT walkers, the AT-AT walkers, from Tokyo. Maybe he got it from, I know they're in San Francisco as well, but at any rate, every time I see them on the bay, I think of those AT-ATs, which I loved as a kid. And but my company has a new collaborator down there. There's this huge, enormous redevelopment project, and it's pretty interesting because it's a dead part of the city, and they're totally reviving it, and it's going to become like a whole new part of the city. It's going to be like a whole new city unto itself, which is kind of exciting. Um, so yeah, I got to spend a whole afternoon and watch the sun go down over there because I'm doing an event over there this month, and it was really nice to be out on Tokyo Bay. Tokyo Bay is like highly underrated. You don't, I don't know. The Bay is not somewhere I mean, Tokyo Bay is like, I think where like Commodore Perry came, and like it's one of the most important parts of the city, and all the, it's very busy, and the airport's down there. I mean, it's like extremely busy. It's completely integral to the city, and yet I don't talk about it with my friends. I mean, we don't go down there. There's not things really to do exactly. But anyway, it is a city on the bay. Tokyo is like in the end of the bay, and it's kind of cool to go down there. It's really industrial, and the monorail goes overhead, and the Shinkansen bullet train goes this way, and the airplanes are flying, and there's big buildings, and it's like layers and layers and layers of the city. It's pretty interesting. But there's not a lot of residential stuff down there, so it's they're trying to like they've got a challenge. They're up against getting people to go down there and to know about it, and to to be interested in it. But it's cool. It's really cool. They've done a good job with it, so I'm pretty excited about it. And I saw the sun go down on Tokyo Bay, which was really nice, and it kind of just like the air was cool, and it was a perfect night for a motorcycle ride. And so I had a meeting there in the afternoon at 3, and then the meeting went kind of long, and by the end of the day it was like, okay, I'm not going back to the office, I'm just going to go home. But I was so close to my friend H's house, and I have a mentor. I'm so very fortunate to have a mentor. Hey James, nice to see you, buddy. Thanks for being here. I have a mentor in Tokyo. His name's Miyamoto Eichi, and god dang, I want to share his shop with you so bad. I want to share his place with you so bad, but he is so averse to being on camera that I cannot. I've been asking him for years, since I started the channel. I was like, hey, I gotta come do a thing at SCART Gallery. And he was like, no. I was like, what do you mean no? And he's like, no cameras, no thanks. You come anytime you want. I do not. And I was like, oh, come on, you're joking. He's like, no, I'm dead serious. And so like and every time I see him, it's like gotten to the point where it's awkward now. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, what? We're like besties. I mean, like, I asked him to be the godparents of my kids, and he declined. Actually, he and his wife declined. They don't have any kids themselves, but I have this guy Miyamoto Eichi's fucking genius, amazing mind. I've talked about him on here a few times, but he is a designer, industrial designer, graphic designer, artist, musician, punk, provocateur, gallerist, and Renaissance man. Basically, the guy is just super talented, and he knows about everything. He is like a whole earth catalog. The guy just knows about every book. He's one of the guys who knows that Japanese obi's Japanese like inserts. I wonder if I can pull one out. Let me see real quick. Let me see if I pull one, like a Beatles one out. Let me see. What would be a good one? I'm not. Didn't I recently like Hard Day's Night? Is that on Odeon? It is. I feel like maybe one of these. Possibly. Not sure. Let's just see. This one might not be one, but let's just. This one I think is on. It's on Odeon. So this is a copy of Hard Day's Night. And it's a Japanese. It's on the Odeon label. And what did Odeon become? I think Toshiba. And they had the sometimes they're red wax. And so they have obviously they have like a different back jacket, and it's all Japanese. And sadly, my Japanese is not really good enough to be able to read this at all. Actually, I'll just admit. I mean, I can read the katakana. Beatles are yate miru yai ya. Beatles, I don't know. It's something. Yeah. Sound trunk. Oh, soundtrack. So it's Hard Day's Night soundtrack. And then okay, so this. Oh no, this maybe not. Okay, anyway, it has the lyrics on here, and occasionally you'll see these inserts, and they're sometimes like really robust. This one's kind of cool. It's on red wax. It's on that red Odeon super wax. Right? Isn't that just beautiful? Kind of red color. But they'll have these like books inside, and it'll tell you like what the Beatles like for lunch and what their favorite cocktail is, and what what their hobbies are, and things like that. You see these like inserts that have like I would think infinitely more information in them than a pressing you might find back from the UK or US, just because the Japanese, like all of that English, that's what the obi is. The obi is there to tell the Japanese user what the Japanese listener what it is. That's what it's for. It's to break the language barrier. And then on the inserts, they sometimes have these really thick, well-made books. I wonder what additional cost they added to the price of the records, because sometimes they're really robust. I mean, like 10, 20, 30 pages. And that's how they know about that's how they can like know as deep as be like crazy maniacal fans, because they just know like layers and layers and layers of Clapton that we never like learned or whatever. And so my friend H.E., he's like, he read every liner note of every record, and of course he wasn't really interested into that. He's 59 is he was born, so he was like, yeah, 8. No, he's like, yeah, he's a good almost 20 years older than me, because like almost old enough to be my dad, almost. But yeah, man, that guy is fucking such a genius. So cool. And he's got this incredible gallery called SCART. And boy, I really want to take you there. But it's a gallery and a showcase of all his stuff, all his like amazing. And he has like $100,000 amplifier. That's it. Like he has, like he was rolling in cash at one point. I mean, like you couldn't, if you were living in Japan, like in the boom era, you could not just be. They said they were like blowing their noses with $100 bills, and if you wanted to get a taxi, if you wanted to hail a taxi, like holding your hand up wasn't enough. You had to wave like $100 bill in the air to flag a taxi. It was said. So he's from that era where there was just plenty to go around, and he got a whole bunch of nice toys when he did. And he's got like the craziest, coolest old school amps, and he builds speed. He's just a crazy cool guy. I got to hang out with him. Here, I'll show you a photo. I'll show you a photo of him. I just took one of the three of us. So there he is. Let me see if I zoom in on him. There's H.E. There's my buddy H.E. And that's Atsuko-san, his lovely. And they're both artists. And she makes these, and they've been married, they've known each other since they were like 16, maybe, yeah, like 16 years old or something like that. And they have this pencil building in Tsukiji Station. Tsukiji is where the fish market is. And they bought like forever ago, like against everybody's, advice, they bought this little pencil building that was apparently like a little bit of a black market deal. I don't really know what this details of it were, but they bought this building. It's directly when you walk up the station, walk up the stairs of Tsukiji Station. It's right there outside of the station, and it's worth a fortune. It's worth an absolute fortune, because the whole city is like boomed up, and now they got like a giant building on the left of them and a giant building on the right of them. It's a pretty interesting story, and he's got this really cool brand, and I'm totally inspired by him. And all my photography choices and all my toys that I have are all informed by him. And my artistic decisions are like so informed by him. And Miyamoto Eiichi, I'll look him up if you'll SCART. Oh no, whoops. Let me look it up. How do I get back to my chats? There we go. SCART gallery, maybe you have to look at that SCART. And I can tell you that like looking at his website, you won't really completely understand what he's doing, but it's an open store. It's like you can walk into anybody can walk in. He's got music playing on this, he's got music playing, and there's nobody living. He's got no neighbors, so he can just crank the music, which is really fun. We were listening to the new, or not new anymore, but the Broadway thing, the American, what was it called? The David Byrne thing, where the crazy silver stage thing. And he just had it cranked, and it was so vibrant and so like brilliant. The sound was just so brilliant, and we were just like dancing into like all those tunes. It was super fun. And yeah, while the doors were open, like a couple of people came in, like a couple of customers. There was actually a Pakistani guy who came in, and a girl from Mississippi that came in. There's like tourists who were like probably like a little lost and had wandered into the place, and they're like, "What's this place?" And everything's kind of expensive, but it's appropriately priced because it's very high design stuff, but it's little expensive. But he's not really keen to like make it cheap, and he doesn't need to. But um and so they come in, and one of the girls is like, and I can he won't sell himself, but I know his whole brand. I've known him for, like I said, I asked him to be the godparents of my kids. I've known him forever and ever. And I'm able to explain his shop and his concept and his artistic mind better than he is, much better than he is. So I said, "Hey, welcome to the store. This is my friend Aichi and Atsuko, and they run this place, and they're into this sort of conceptual thing, and this is the ideas, and she does this and he does this, and you'll see motifs of it in here and here, and he's really inspired by these things, and you see them all scattered through all of his art." And they were just like a little bit fish out of water, like, "What is this?" Because it's intense. You got to kind of, right when you walk into a store, Mazzy would appreciate this. There's a Fluxus record, a very expensive, the Fluxus Movement double LP, whatever that one is, that has all the typeface on it. That's like Fluxus. It's just like a statement, like I'm punk and flux. And so, but the gallery is constantly in a state of flux, actually, coincidentally. And if it's not today's gallery, it's like, what he's like writes a menu. His gallery is like, today's menu. He's like, today it'll be about aerial photography, and he'll pull out all these crazy like aerial photography lenses that he yanks out of cameras and that he puts into other cameras and Frankenstein's things together. And he is so cool, man. He's just so cool. And I love it because I understand it. But I think if you just walked into the place off the street, you'd be like, well, what is going on here? And it's hard to get your head around because it's layers and deep. In fact, I will tell you, the word skart comes from the word skirt and the word art. He's got a fashion brand as well, and he was designing clothes, or he designed a line of clothes a long time ago, 40 years ago maybe, and it was like industrial workerman's materials, like utilitarian materials, but in these sort of like not feminine silhouettes, but in Japan has like this kind of, it's called a hakama. It's like a men's sort of skirt. It's not exactly a skirt. It is a skirt, but it's like, yeah, it's a skirt, but it's like the archers wear it, and it's the samurai would wear it and things like this. And it's kimono-ish. And but he designed it like a pair of Carhartts. Like imagine like a men's Carhartt, carpenter, plumber type, materials, heavy duty industrial kind of materials, but like a feminine shapes and but masculine shapes. I'm having a little hard time explaining it, but what makes it interesting is that when you open it, on the inside of the skirts were inspirations from what the samurai would keep on the inside of their samurais. On the inside of their kimonos. When the samurai open their kimonos to reveal their naked bodies to mortal maidens, and they would show these, scenes of dragons fighting tigers and sharks eating, or whatever it was. These women were so transfixed by the scenes of, beauty and mayhem and vigor on the inside of on these kimonos that they would instantly melt, and the samurai would deflower them or whatever. And so from that notion, Aichi made these skirts for men, and on the inside of them are these erotic images of, like, I don't even know what this style of art is called, but it's like Renaissance, 3, 4, 500-year-old European art that are these like really erotic scenes, like a Caligula type of deal on the inside of these men's skirts. And the notion is that like it gives you vitality to wear this skirt. So then that's the idea of skirt and art. But that it's not just like skirt and art, but it's the notion that there is art that you can't see. There's the notion that it's what not everything is right on the surface. There's all kinds of layers of intense stuff below the surface. What's up, Richard? Nice to see you, dude. I'm doing good today. How are you? How are you? Where are you in the world, Richard? Where in the world are you? And James, where are you actually? If you're still watching, where are you in the world? I don't know where you guys are. Can I click on you? Go. Oops. Oh, they did it again. I don't recognize your names. Richard the Music Maniac. Go to channel. Oh, you don't have any things on your channel yet. Okay, but you got a nice peace sign here. Joined May 2nd. Okay, so just like a month ago. Pittsburgh. You're in Pittsburgh. Okay, cool. I don't know. I've never been to Pittsburgh. Don't know anything about Pittsburgh. I think my brother lived in Pittsburgh for a while. Pittsburgh has like a skate punk thing happening there. My brother's kind of a skater guy, dude. He's like pretty crusty, hardcore punk. And he's like, yeah, Pittsburgh there's a scene in Pittsburgh. So I don't know. I've never been there. Japan's really good. This girl who came into the shop, she was like, what I was getting at is one of them came in and she's like, what's this place? It's so cool. And she was like, oh, and I said, this is Atsuko-san, Eiichi's wife. She makes teddy bears and she makes these, and she was like, teddy bears. And yeah, out of like leather with zippers, and they're sort of SM. And she's like, oh, what's that about? And they're like these scary teddy bears, but they're really cool. And she's like, why is she doing them like in an SM? I was like, oh, because she looks very sweet and demure, and but she's quite ornery. I don't know, but that's just her thing. And so, but she was like, oh, well, do you have a shop card? I mean, do you ship overseas? She was just this customer was just trying to like find an out to sort of, and Eiichi said, no, we don't have a shop. And she's like, oh, well, can you ship overseas? And he was like, no. She's like, oh, really? Why not? And he's like, because we don't ship overseas. And he wasn't being mean about it, but she was like, oh, really? And he's like, we want to have a connection, a face-to-face connection with our customers. And she was like, oh, okay. But what he was trying to say is like, we're intense and we're human and this is the way that it is. And we're like, and so she walked out there like a little bit confused, but then she said, okay, we'll take care. And she said, how long have you been here? And I said, oh, I'm in a long time. And she started asking me like, what's life like in Japan? She was like a tourist. And I said, oh yeah, I was about to say infinitely. She was like, how's your standard of living here? And I was like, was about to say like infinitely better than, it's so good, I wanted to say, but I didn't want, to offend or to be like rude about it. But I kind of withheld a little bit because it just sounds pompous to say such a thing. And even though I'm sitting here saying it now on the stream, but she was like, but I said, but it's a trade-off. So to answer your question, James, like, or Richard, excuse me, how's life in Japan? It's good, but it's a trade-off. I miss my family a lot. I miss my friends. I miss like summertime, like a proper 4th of July American summer. I miss, like pool parties and, backyard potlucks, that kind of thing. So it's a trade-off, but I love the city. And I was saying to, I was talking to Eiichi last night about how like I see the majesty of the natural world in Tokyo. Ironically, to me, I see like a shingle on a roof as a reflection of the great beyond. I see the tiniest little choices and design details. I see every one of those as the same in the same consideration that you look at a crazy color palette of the Grand Canyon or a sunset or grasslands or something. I don't know why I see it that way, but everywhere I look in Tokyo, even though it's very industrial and mechanical and seemingly lacking some majestic mountain top, even though there is all of that here too, I find nature everywhere I look. Everywhere I look, because I see I see human imagination, and I see humanity everywhere I look. And in that sense, I see the great thing. I see it's just like everywhere I look, and so it's always interesting. I'm just looking out my window. I'm looking everywhere. It's like, oh, it's everywhere I look, I see it. Let's see here. Brian, did you delete the jazz bombs? I don't think so. Did if I did, what do you mean? Did I delete the jazz? Did I delete? I like the jazz bombs. No, have anything with nothing but respect and appreciation for the jazz bombs. I don't know anything about them. I don't know what you mean, but delete them. Did I follow them, or did I delete them? As in delete them from my account? I hope I didn't. If I did, I did accidentally. Didn't mean to. What do you mean? Did I delete the jazz bombs? I didn't think so. And Marty's here. Hey, Marty, how are you, dude? And OJC's is in the house. Hope your movie is moving along. OJC's. I watched a movie this week that I'd seen before. I did a deep dive into something. I did a very, very deep dive. I saw a interview with Wes Anderson just this morning, and it was the guy was mentioning that he was like, oh, I watched Bottle Rocket or Rushmore last night with my wife in preparation for this interview, said the interviewer. And I was just thinking, if I were interviewing Wes Anderson or anybody, it's just pick anybody, but I love the act of studying and researching. I love it. I don't know. I was just acknowledging that to myself this morning. There's so much appreciation, and to a fault, to a point where it's like I research so much that I lose sight of the whole impetus for studying in the first place. So I've been working on a video. Actually, I can pose this question again now that there's a few of us here. I made a video this morning before hopping on the stream. I had to hop on the stream to sort of clear the emotional palette that was left in the wake of this stream that I made this morning. Excuse me, this video that I made this morning. I made a video this morning that it was incredibly vulnerable. I made a video this morning that it's a really, really vulnerable video. And Mazzy's here. Mazzy, hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Mazzy, if you come up, if you want to I'll send you a link. You should come up. I got something for you. Let me see. Oh, you know what? Can you go? Maybe I can. How should I do that? Well, only if I don't want to oblige you but if you come up, I got a funny thing for you. What was I saying? So yeah, I made a really vulnerable video this morning, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I can post this. I don't know if I can post this. It was so it's so personal, and it's so revealing, and it's so kind of embarrassing. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. I made it as a little tribute. I've been wanting to make it for so long. I've been thinking about it and researching it for so long. And this video, Greg, that I watched this week is called Between Me and My Mind. It gets mentioned. In this video that I made this morning. Okay, what am I doing here? So Between Me and My Mind, and it's a documentary. It's a documentary film about Trey Anastasio. I highly recommend it. It's pretty good. I didn't love it it's awkward. There's some really awkward, clunky moments in it. It's about Trey. There's only been a couple documentaries that have been made about fish, and one of them it was going with them on tour in Europe. And there was there's been a couple that haven't really been behind the scenes. It's kind of been road show kind of vibes. And this one was, Trey got asked to, hey, can we make a documentary about you? And he was like, I'm not really. And they were like, what? I got nothing to say. And he said, no, but we've never really seen the process of writing songs. And that would be something that would be really interesting to people. And that somehow piqued his curiosity. And he let these guys into his world for like a year. And you got to go into the songwriting process. It was really, really interesting over the course of quite a long year. So Between Me and My Mind was a movie that documentary I really appreciated this weekend. Finally, I got this video out this morning, and God, I think I'm gonna post it, but I think it's gonna be. I don't think that many people watch it because it's just a little bit intense, but it's like, oh my God, seriously? Why is he getting all? Seriously? This guy needs to get over himself or something. How the freak do I do this? I mean, Matt, don't let me. Should I just drop it in the chat? I'll drop it in the chat. I'll drop the link in the chat. This is a bad idea. But okay, that's the easiest way to do it, because I'm overloading my computer at the moment, and I don't want to open a browser, to be honest. I'm so scared that it's going to like crash. That's why you have multiple streams up, is because I started one and it like crashed, and then I started up another one and it crashed. And it's just like, so I'm kind of like I need to get a new computer. This computer should be good enough, but it's not. But anyway, made a really intense video, and I'm making another one today or tomorrow, which is another doozy of a video that is going to be something that's in response to my buddy Mazzy and a little debate we were having a while ago.
I don't know why I'm here, but I have nothing to offer about fish.
No, that's okay.
I've never seen Fish live. I have 2 Fish CDs. I only can name one of them. I don't remember the studio album I have. I have of course, the White Album, Halloween show.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the rest.
Oh, you dropped. It was interesting. I almost felt like I was talking to you on a subconscious level, because you had I spun Remain in Light like one night on Twitch. I just started streaming to Twitch, and I spun Remain in Light, and the very next day you made a video with Remain in Light, and that is, I don't know what it was. It was a collective consciousness.
It's Kumbaya-esque.
And then I listened to it again last night, which is serendipitous. But I want to do an unboxing with you, Mazzy, on screen. Are you ready for this? I got an unboxing right here.
You know my thing about unboxing, don't you?
You hate unboxing videos, but you'll like this unboxing video. Dun, ta, ta, ta.
I hate when I do it. Yeah. Oh, and that's the Japanese version.
This is the Japanese version.
Japanese version has a different cover, and it's in Japanese.
It's in Japanese. I just opened it for the first time right now.
Wow. And you can read it. See, I can't read it. I think I have 2 or 3. Back after it came out, we negotiated.
Keep talking. I'm just going to show it. Keep talking.
We negotiated a British edition, and we negotiated a Japanese edition from Sony. That was published by Sony. Look on the spine or whatever.
CBS, Sony Publishing Inc.
Sony.
Yeah.
And the thing is, our book, the original book, was printed by. Hello.
Sorry.
The original book was printed by Dai Nippon in Japan. And
so
all they had to do was replace the black plate with the type for that.
Okay, still a lot of work.
Well, and this is the days before computers. This is
right. This looks groovy.
Yeah, so I don't know how the I'm curious.
Dude, I can't read Japanese. I'm going to come clean right now. No.
Well, I'm curious how they presented.
Oh wow, I don't know.
We wrote this. David and I wrote the Stonehenge section on mushrooms.
Interesting.
Hold up the type so people can kind of see.
Okay, all right. Hold on. Let's see here. Let me get a good page. Yeah, hold on. Let me get a good one. Here's one of John and Yoko, and it's not going to be focused.
John and Yoko.
Oh, you know what, Mazzy? They're on the live at the Budokan show.
Right.
they come out, you know, and they're like, and they're a little campy, and they're like, you know, John says like, oh, what's the next song we're playing? Are we playing the next song? There's a couple little, you know, patter that they do that's kind of a little bit hammy, but Paul says, "Domo arigato," and he says it just under his breath, but I think at one point he says, "Thank you so much, Hong Kong. We're so happy to be here." I think he shouts out. He's like, "Yo, Cleveland rocks," and they're in Detroit, you know, and then the whole audience is like, they didn't catch it, but I think he says, "We're so happy to be in Hong Kong."
I don't remember. I have it somewhere. I have a bootleg of it because it's never been out officially. I have the audio, but I also have a bootleg of the video.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's good. It's pretty interesting. What do you think about the fashion choices that they made? Do you remember what they're wearing? They're wearing these kind of like light blue jackets and these red shirts.
Almost like it was very colorful in 1966, right?
And do you know the band that, like, you've seen the opening act too? Like, we welcome the Beatles.
I don't think I have. I don't think I've seen the
funny.
opening. No.
The opening is they have like some Japanese. I don't know who it is, but it's like these. Yeah, it's this. Let's see who it says here. Published in 1982. Okay, how old were you in 1982? Old enough to be eating mushrooms at Gamehenge.
I was 27 when the book
Wow,
came
good
out.
on you. 27, and you got out a Beatles book.
But we started. See, that came in 82. In 78, I went to England for the first time. My buddy David, who I went to high school with, went to England in 79. He meets Paul McCartney just randomly at Abbey Road. I mean, he got an autograph.
Okay.
He was
He's like
coming
stalking
in.
out. Okay.
Yeah, it was like he was at Abbey Road with some people. You go to Abbey Road Studios, and Paul McCartney and Linda show up. There's a picture of him getting an autograph.
Wow. Oh,
so
right here. Is this the one where there he is, like walking in? No, that's the one. Yeah. Okay, what a coincidence.
There's also a picture of him in the shop. But what happened is he comes back, and we realize, you know, we went to Liverpool, we went to London. There was no touristing. In fact, Liverpool didn't give a shit about tourism. If you go to the tourist site, they said, there's nothing here to see. So we decided to write a book, a travel guide. And there was no, at the time, travel guide. There were no Beatles sites that were official. Now it's big tourism thing in Liverpool.
Sure.
So we were the first to do any kind of travel guide of the Beatles.
So
but we stopped. We actually started it. We went to England again together in March of 1980. But when John Lennon was shot, we stopped because our book wasn't about that. And it came out a year and a half after that. We ended up, after a few months, got back into it because we realized it's not about whether they're alive or dead. No offense. It's about just the Beatles, not solo stuff. But we just felt weird, you know, working on it after John died.
Interesting. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that would be, yeah, because it would seem sort of, yeah, sleaze-ish. But I mean, it's like you think. I mean, you know, not to say so much about it, but I think the band would have wanted. I mean, like, you know, no, he would have wanted us to go on. They certainly.
I mean, they all went on.
They all went on, right? Exactly.
I mean, it just seemed weird because a lot of books came out right after John died, but they were mostly books about John and John's death and all that.
So under the jacket is the original design, right?
Oh, I forgot. That's the original design.
That's okay. Yeah, I just noticed that myself. I was a little bit disappointed when I saw the U.S. version. I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, this is cool."
Well,
but
wait a second.
I'm not getting
Let me. You know, I don't remember. Look on the inside cover. Does it say published by Sony Japan?
Yeah, it does. It says Sony, and I see that it's like all rights. I saw the Japanese. I saw some. Yeah, it said, I mean, it's definitely a Japanese version. I mean,
I forgot there was an overlay. They did.
All rights for Japan controlled by Shinko Music Publishing. What else is Japanese in here? Yeah, I don't know. There's an introduction here.
They think they did 5,000 copies, as I recall. We sold 40,000 worldwide.
Wow, there's your name, Norman Masloff, 1981. I can see it in Japanese. Norumanu Masurofu.
There you go.
That's pretty cool.
You know, it's funny. We were trying to negotiate when we were negotiating the deal with them. David and I wanted to. We asked for a trip to Japan for both of us to do a promotion when it came out, and they kind of got back to us. I don't know if it's bullshit or not. I know they're so polite and everything. We don't do promotion in Japan. We don't do hard sell.
Really?
Something. I mean, I'm paraphrasing.
Okay.
But
They didn't. Okay,
they
they
probably
didn't.
just didn't want to pay for us to come up. But
Oh wow, that would have been a great
I
opportunity.
would have loved to go into Tokyo.
So wait a second. So I'll say my Beatles connection to Japan. Okay, so there's heaps of like Beatles cover bands, and there's heaps of like the Cavern. They have like a replica of the Cavern in Tokyo somewhere, and there's there's record shop. There's a record shop that has nothing but Beatles stuff, and there's you could I think the hotel. I think they stayed at I forget which hotel they stayed at when they were like stuck at the hotel. But my buddies went and stayed in that very room. My friends came over, a big famous rock and roll band, and they came over and they stayed in that room. I got to go to the room, and it was really cool. It's like all this like mid-century furniture, and everything's really small and half
Did they keep
size.
it intact?
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
There's a famous. You should look up. There's a famous painting.
Yeah, that they all made together in the
Yeah.
room. Yeah. And the only time that they've ever like collaborated on an art piece, just from having been stuck in that room. And they, I don't know if I'm sure you've read, but they all sort of remember it as like a great memory. It was like a very wonderful memory that they have of sharing something creative together.
On the back of, I think it's the album, The Beatles Oldies, the album that came out at Christmas time, like as a supplemental, kind of a hit.
Yep.
There's a photograph of it. I have a book with all the photographs that this Japanese photographer took of them painting it and working on it and signing it, and it's beautiful. I forgot.
Yeah, it's like 4 quadrants, and then there's like something in the middle that sort of binds them all together, right?
It's kind of a cool. I wonder I forgot who owns that now. I don't know if it's back at Apple.
That's pretty cool.
Obviously,
I got a question for you. Okay, so I see right here on the table of contents. I see a picture that says "Sign the Beatles now." I see another one here that looks like Friar Park, but I don't know what that is.
It is Friar Park, yeah.
But who made these photos? Whose photos are these?
We took them.
Are you guys were there?
David and I in 80, as I said, in the spring of 80, went to Liverpool, London, Hamburg, the south of England, where Magic Mist Tours filmed, and we took all the pictures ourselves, the two of us. But then we licensed, from like AP and UPI and features. There's stock photographs that we paid for. We licensed. That was my first exploration in licensing images. I didn't know about. I wasn't a photo agent yet.
So here's the Abbey Road cover. That's you licensed.
Well, we were able to use. We wrote. I think we wrote to Capitol, and we said, "Can we use all the pictures of the album covers?"
But this photo would have been yours, right?
Yes. And
maybe it's you. This is not you walking across the street.
There was some family walking across, and either David or I snapped that picture. We took all the pictures. So I don't remember always who took what. Like you can look in the strawberry field section and day trip or in
Let's
Liverpool.
go through. You've gone through it before. Can we go through it a little bit?
You can do whatever you want. It's your show.
Let's go through it. No, let's do it. It's let's go through it a little bit. Well, I don't know what's the best way to do it. If I should zoom in on myself.
You should be bigger.
Okay. I'm going to go big, and we're going to go through until we get tired. Until we get tired of this.
I can just do a voiceover.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just have a quick look at the cover here. It's a monochrome photo, black and white photo with hand color, which
this was a time when, looking back on it, I would never hand color again, but I didn't do it.
It's so cool.
Don't say that. It was fun. That's the picture.
This is supremely cool.
That photograph is from the Beatles walking in London in front of EMI, where they recorded those BBC recordings that they did at BBC.
Okay, and that's not Epstein behind them, but British Railways. Okay. So David Bacon and Norman Maslow. Here we go on the cover, and we're not going to go through the entire thing, obviously, but
do whatever you want.
Yeah, we'll go through it. I want to do a look at this. Look at this. This is the portrait. This is what I take, Mazzy. My photographs. I take book jacket portraits.
My friend Brooks took that picture.
That's fucking hilarious. I wish I could zoom in on that. So
the problem with that is that was done in my. That was done in my kitchen, and we didn't have seamless or anything in those days, or I didn't. I wasn't a photographer, really. And so we put a sheet up, and I realized we should have taken the poster down, because you can see a Paul McCartney poster through the sheet if you look closely. We didn't strip it out.
Let me see if I can do something real quick. I just may have a little trick up my sleeve here. Just a second. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Okay, we'll keep going. Let me work on that. But I may hold on. Let me just work on this for just 1 second. Maybe I can do a little.
It's your show.
Let me do it. No,
I'm so bored. No jazz bums tonight. So.
Oh, is that what happened? That's the question. Okay, answer some of the questions, Mazzy, in the chat, so that I'm not. Yeah.
All right. Like a real jazz man, laugh out loud, just pretend. Marty, this isn't a jazz. Okay. Breakfast. Hi, Dagan. Beatles stay at the Tokyo Hilton. Okay, I'd forgotten that. Dagan
I think
and
they
Loki.
stayed somewhere
They're all
else.
kind of talking amongst themselves like they usually do.
Okay.
This record store sells Beatles. Rice Fields made a video. Okay.
Oh shit! I don't have a. Okay, I can't do
Uh,
that. All right, give up on that idea.
Jazz bums. Hi, Chansey. Hi, Marty. Hi, Chansey. Mello. Is that you? Magic's going to do my Jackson 5 vinyl tag. Probably not. No offense. I have nothing to say about the Jackson 5. No offense, Richard. Nice to see you. Brian's sleazy top account is a fake troll. Okay. I don't see that now, but
Brian's what account is a fake troll?
Apparently sleazy top. If sleazy top posts again, delete him. I don't know who that is.
Okay.
I don't see him here lately.
Okay.
Hi, Jeff. Mr. Myers.
That's it.
Nothing urgent.
Okay, I'm coming back. Just a second.
Hi, Mom.
Does that get better? Oh, this might work better. Okay, here's what we'll try. We'll try this.
I was sitting here because I'm sitting in my sweet spot listening to music, which there's a TV there, as you know, and all the reflective kitchen shit behind me. So it's not perfect audio file environment, but I fucking love playing music here. So there we go.
Is it going to make me big? Oh, it's wonky. Oh, give up on it. Okay. I was trying to get I was trying to zoom in on this hilarious picture of you guys because this camera will go a little bit closer, but I'll keep working on it. There's Mazzy and his partner, David Bacon.
And I, and we actually went to butcher shop and bought raw meat, and we had baby doll heads.
Grief.
Obviously, people know what that parody is. Oh, the funny thing about that is, that's funny. I forgot the Japanese did that because that shot is only in the very limited hardback. We did 1,000 copies, but there were 39,000 soft covers originally. So that butcher cover parody is only on the inside hardcover flap.
Okay. We have nobody on camera. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I feel lucky to have that special one, and this
You're
is
black
cool.
now.
I know.
If Russell, if you get your book to me, of course I'll sign it. But if you find used copies, there are a lot of used copies out there that are signed. The problem is, I think there was a situation where David signed a bunch of them for both of us. So.
Oh, right. The reason I picked this up, Mazzy, is because you had mentioned to Marty, I think, somewhere, or I had heard you say like, oh yeah, it's out there for 300 yen or $300. You can find it on Amazon or something.
You can find it cheap. It usually costs more to ship it than to buy it.
So I went looking for it, and I saw it for $150.
Really?
Yes. I was like,
yeah,
okay, I'm not getting it for $150. But then I turned the page and I found it for $3. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna score this. I was like, oh, there's the Japanese version. And then I found another one for like $17 or whatever. So
I'm glad they got a Japanese version because
me too.
I've never seen anyone buy a Japanese version used.
I'm stoked. I was wishing it had like an obi on it. At first I thought that this.
I think it. Hold on a sec. I'll be right back.
Okay. Hold on. Let's see here. So there's a lot of pictures in here that. Oh wait, Marty's here. Oh, that might be the real Marty. Oh, it's not. It's not. What a lame dude. Banned from studio. Why would you do that? Okay. So lame. Okay, let's see here. I think I can hear my phone in my pocket playing.
I only have one copy, but look at this. Hold on. One Japanese, but there is a.
Was there an obi that I don't have anymore?
Yes.
Look at. Okay, that's the book. That's the receipt style obi. Yeah. That's cool. That's pretty cool.
There's also a whatever this is.
That's just what is that? Oh, that's like the guarantee sort of
catalog or whatever.
Okay, I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure what that is. I could look at it a little deeper. Oh, you've got your Woody Guthrie shirt on. Nice, Tulsa represent. Nice, dude. Okay, did you put that on for you? Didn't put that on for me, did you?
No.
This guitar kills fascists.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on, Matt. You gotta look at this. Let me see if I can find this real quick. I think I have it right here. Oh, maybe I don't. Oh, blast! It's not here. Oh, I just destroyed my house looking for it. I have a camera that says "This camera kills fascists." It's a cool one. Hold on, I want to look at a few more of these things. Let me make myself big again here, just so we can all see it.
Japanese.
Japanese. Look at that Virgin mega store in
That's
London,
I
Oxford
took
Street.
that. I think I try to remember. It's kind of like you understand when people don't forget who took what. David and I both took pictures, and we took up. This is film. This is pre-digital, obviously, and I used a. I think I had a Mamiya Secor 35 camera then. That's Oxford Street.
Yep, says Oxford Street on here. Then you got the London with the Japanese here.
Yeah.
We just saw Abbey Road. There's Paul walking in the shop. Some more Abbey Road pictures. There's an Abbey Road in Nasu, in a little town. Look right. Okay. Then there's the Beatles here in the studio. I don't recognize.
They're in Abbey Road.
Okay.
Abbey Road. Obviously, we
Abbey Road entrance.
Yeah, we took all the exteriors, obviously.
Okay, nice photos there.
Now that was does that say Abbey Road Studios or EMI Studios?
Both. It says EMI in red on top.
Well, it used to be called EMI Studios, and eventually they changed it to Abbey Road. So there's a new sign now since then.
Right. Okay, and then the boys having some coffee and tea here. And then
canteen,
all you need is love sessions, and then wow, look at these outfits. Look at these. This is like a Halloween. What is going on in this picture?
That was the opening of the Apple Boutique, which is on the right.
Oh yeah, and it
was all painted up. You can see what it looks like.
There's a color picture here. Yeah, there it is.
And now the other right is what it looks like at the time.
Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, it's totally gone away.
Mural.
Yeah, can you believe that?
It was painted
that went away. Unbelievable. What's 94? That's the address. 94 is the address.
No, that's above. Is that 94 Wimpole Street?
Can't read it. Yeah, it's a little.
Oh right, I forgot. I think that was one of the early Apple offices later.
Okay. Then you have the color pictures of Apple Boutique. Man, how cool would it have been to visit there? So when did that close?
68 or 69. It just was a bust, and they gave away everything free, and it was a madhouse.
What happened exactly? What?
Apple was a great idea, but it was a pipe dream, and they had no one to sort of mind the store. If you ever seen the Ruddles, there's a parody of everyone like walking out with shit. They wanted to be signed artists, and they wanted to do electronics, and they wanted to make film. It was like hippie ethos without someone minding the store financially, and people were they went through so much money. You know how that, I mean, you can imagine.
It seems impossible for it to fail, though. I'm kind of stunned that it did.
You need someone to say, no, you can't spend that on 2 records of John and Yoko yelling, or whatever. I'm just using that.
I listened to that record for the first time recently. I thought I would have listened to it before.
There's 3 of them.
They're good. By the time
they're interesting.
The John Yoko John.
That's
Yoko John. I was like,
they went through, and really on Apple Records, they had hits with Mary Hopkins and Badfinger. Is that it? I'm trying to think. They did Jackie Lomax that bombed. They did these soundtracks that bombed. They did. They were going to do a Richard Brodigan album. I think they recorded, but it never came out. They did Ravi Shankar. They did okay. They did the Modern Jazz Quartet. Did okay, but nothing. They didn't have a lot of big hits aside from Mary Hopkins and Badfinger, and of course the Beatles. It just was bad business running. They were not good at running a business, and by that was after Brian Epstein had died. They fucked it up,
That's unfortunate. I just kicked out somebody posing. I think it's 40 if that was really you. Sorry about that, but I think it was somebody else. Okay, and what this is? I'm looking at Apple Studios here. I feel like I'm looking at a kitchen. I realize it's like a mixing booth.
That was an ad in like trade magazines to promote the studio.
Okay. Did you ever see the ridiculous commercial that Ringo did some years later in the 80s where he was like selling furniture? Did you ever see the?
Yes. Well, he had it. In fact, we visited the store, and I have a mirror from the store, like this Apple mirror. he had a store called Ringo and Robin, kind of a posh, upscale, like home store.
Okay. Yeah, it was ridiculous. It looked like he wasn't really that interested in
No,
it,
it was,
but
everyone
okay.
does business ventures, whether restaurants
Here's
or
a ridiculous picture with George's in a rather ridiculous the bow tie, the oversized, like ridiculous kind of
that
bow
was the look
tie.
then. That
That
was
was the
in
look, right?
Salvo Row. That's where the rooftop concert was.
Okay. Yeah. Salvo Road and Abbey and EMI weren't the same place. Were
No,
they next to each other? They weren't? Oh,
no,
I don't
no.
think I knew that. All
Salvo
right.
Row is a
Savile
street
Row, right.
near
With the fashion street. Yeah.
near Regent Street, and it
Oh,
was usually high-end tailors and
okay.
custom clothes. And the Beatles bought that building and they put a studio in. That's where the rooftop concert happened.
So, okay, I'm just, yeah, I don't know it back and forth. So here, these aren't your pictures,
Those
or
are
are
all
they?
fan photos, people we
Okay.
knew and that had got those pictures and let us use them.
Okay, fantastic. They all look supremely cool.
They're all
All
kind
of
of in
them.
front of Savile Row.
Man, I just listened to I listen to it frequently, but I just listened to Brain Damage. It's Brain Damage is like out on the web recently. I'm getting has Brain Damage
No,
gone, or has it gone, is it going to get a re-release, or has it already
you mean
been
George
re-released?
Harrison?
Yeah.
No, not Brain Damage. Brain shit.
What
Now
is
you
it?
fucked me up. It's not called
Sorry.
Brain Damage. Brain. Someone will write it here. Yeah, Doris Troy didn't sell. James Taylor, that record didn't really sell either until he went to Warner Brothers. Billy Preston did okay. They had a big catalog. Brainwashed. There we go.
Brainwash.
Thank you.
Is that getting ready to get a big release? That's supposed to be a big deal, because I want to buy that record and I never owned it, and it's expensive.
I don't know. Is it really expensive?
It's like $100. Or
Okay.
$200.
I mean, they
I
release
love that record. I have a
uh,
feeling that one's coming out pretty
it
soon.
will. I haven't heard it announced, but Danny Harrison, they switched to BMG from Universal, so they're going to put everything out again.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that to come back out. And here's the doorbell at somewhere. That's pretty cool. And what's this picture of, like, the cement mixer? And
That's okay. For years, Apple, the building Apple, after the Beatles moved out of it and sold it, was in disrepair because when Magic Alex built the recording studio in the basement, he moved things around for the studio, including, without permitting, apparently, one of the support posts, and the building started to separate somewhat.
Oh, that happened to Leon Russell. He famously built this studio in his basement, and it caved in.
Posts are there for a reason.
Right.
You can't put beams, but it's costly, and you have to have a.
He lost a lot of money. I remember hearing that, like, it wiped him out. And you're curious about the typeface here, the lovely sort of
different buildings,
yeah, very cool.
They
and
live,
the columns and Wimpole Street. I don't know about this. Okay. And here's what do we know the name of this chair? Does this chair have a chair?
That's Brian Epstein's apartment.
This is what it looks like. This is what the hotel room at I want to say the Capitol Hotel. That's what I want to say the name was, but that definitely wasn't it. In Tokyo where they stayed, but it was all this, these cool lamps and low furniture. Okay, and I don't know about this photo.
That's when the Beatles got their MBE.
Oh, okay, they got their MBE.
Members of British Empire.
Is that all they are? Who's what? Do we know?
Since then, the
living all
members have been knighted.
Okay, but they started out as MBEs, and they didn't get. They started out as MBEs, and they didn't go.
Member of British Empire.
And then there's O, and then there's. Yeah. Okay. Oh.
Because they were like the first kind of pop stars to get something like that, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well, moving along here. Let's just. Are you okay for time? Are you okay? I'm like, this is fun to me.
Friday night, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, this is fun. Okay, so like a gift shop, a sort of you can postcards and.
We try to put some.
I love London. Yeah, sure. Right. Carnaby Street, Soho. And then Decca Studios, here, the boys at the piano, Ringo playing, and John singing his heart out. God, they're so cool. Penny Lane, Hard Day's Night, Hey Jude. What are these, singles? What are these, picture sleeves?
Sheet music. I think that's sheet music.
Aha, sheet music. Okay, with some stereo accoutrements.
Color,
right?
Photographs in a store window.
EMI House. Okay, here's the EMI House where they made both these images. Oh, so Mazzy, I'll save it for later. I'm getting ready to go on this photographic deep dive. It's going to be my video I make tomorrow. Here they are, Hard Day's Night. I just pulled out my Hard Day's Night right here. I actually just had it handy because I was saying that like Japanese fans are always,
That's
there's always like so much additional information on
That's a
the.
mono. Isn't that a mono?
Is it stereo? It looks
Oh,
like,
that's
yeah.
good. I don't have that. That's very nice.
Yeah. Okay. You find they're not that you can come by them. Actually, you can come by them pretty darn cheap.
And when they
They're
come
like,
to Japan, whenever that is.
yeah, you should come. But okay, moving along here. The boys in the train. Here they are out.
Those are Hard Day's Night locations. We did a bunch. We did a section on film locations.
Okay.
Hard Day's
So what?
Night.
Maybe I don't know. I think I watched. I think my parents made me watch Hard Day's Night. I don't know if I've actually
You
seen
should
it
watch
since.
it. It's great.
Yeah, I know. I want to see it again.
It's great.
Paddington train station. This is where they're getting chased down.
Yeah, we made a mistake.
Jumping on the train.
We realized we made a mistake. It's not Paddington, and I forgot. We made it. There are like 3 or 4 major errors.
Oh, doesn't that suck? You're like,
totally.
It's so. I can't
whatever.
believe it. And you can't go back and fix it. Wow, these are awesome. This is another black and white photo that's hand colored, I think.
Yes, that was from Help, the movie
Dude,
Help.
don't say this. This is cool, man. This is hip.
At the time, that was fine.
Yeah, no, it's dude, hand coloring photos supremely interesting. I think. Okay, maybe like a black and white picture of a clown with a red nose is corny, but this is this is cool. I think.
All right.
Whoa. Actually, it's something that I've long wanted to do with my photos. Black and I wanted to color them.
But now everything is digital apps. You can do every friggin' thing now.
Yeah. Why the tiger? London Zoo. Okay, that was.
You have to see the movie Help.
I've seen that. The ski movie is Help, right? I've seen Help. I've seen Help. Yes. Okay, yeah.
But there's a scene when they're in this pub on the Thames, and Ringo falls to the floor. And Raja, the London who escaped from Raja, the tiger that escaped from the London Zoo. Yeah. So we went to the zoo and photographed a tiger. Obviously, it's not the tiger, but it's a tiger.
You went and photographed a tiger? That's awesome. That's super fun. That's super funny. And then this is, of course, what do they call this place?
That's Battersea Park Station. In the movie Help, that's where the power goes off. Okay. Obviously, later, it would be famous because of Pink Floyd.
Right. And is it still standing? Do we know?
Yeah, but it's been gutted, and now it's a trendy. There's like condos and shops, and the other one. There's another power station across the Thames down. This is now the Tate Modern Gallery. It's beautiful.
Okay. Gallery. Yeah. Sure.
So they refurbished these power stations.
Twickenham. This is Twickenham. So this is Twickenham.
No, that is the wrong.
This was over here. St. Martin's Field.
Twickenham is the
is where they made the movie.
Everything doesn't necessarily reflect the exact photo.
Twickenham's
a big film studio where they did
where they did the Hold on a second.
It's like Pinewood Studios or Universal.
It's where Let It Be, where the sessions, where the Get Back session started, right?
That's Twickenham. Yes, where Get It Back was.
Right. Okay. So then John and Yoko, they're the Ballad of John and Yoko here. They finally can get married. Who's this little spastic statue? Fraser Gallery. Okay, just some art gallery.
Fraser Gallery was the art gallery. It's one of the galleries. Is that the one? I'm blanking out right now. Where John and Yoko met. Yoko had a show.
Foyle's bookstore.
John did it's still there. It's a major bookstore in London.
Okay.
And when John Lennon's In His Own Right came out, he did a reading at the store.
I mean, Yoko's kind of a babe. She's kind of,
she was. I think she's great.
Kind of a babe, I can see it. I get it. And man, I went on a Yoko dive recently, and I really was glad that I did. There's one song. I may have listened to it on your Japan vinyl tag thing. It was like she's like she does this, like, the Beatitudes in the Bible. It's like, blessed are the cheesemakers, or blessed are the meek, they shall be the first to go to heaven. She does, like, blessed are the tree huggers, blessed are the sun. Do you know the song I'm talking about? It's super powerful, beautiful song, and she sings it so pretty. And there's a video that goes along with it, and I feel like it's the first appearance of those wraparound sunglasses.
Here's a problem. She's an easy target for a lot of people at the time. All the bullshit about breaking up the Beatles, all the thing about, he left his wife, which, like, how many people leave their wives or husbands and whatever. I'm not making an excuse, but shit happens.
Right.
That she's not some statuesque hot model. or she's this Japanese woman who's short, who's an artist in her own right. She had a career going back to the early 60s that had nothing to do with John Lennon. And in her own right, she was known, famous in that realm, the Fluxus movement, the conceptual art movement. And so she wasn't like fawning over John like any model would, like,
Sure. Yeah.
I know a little. And it's who are us to judge that? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right.
Now, people can't argue about when these people bring people on. Why does she have to be on his records? Why does Linda have to be on Paul's records? Can't they just have separate things?
Do whatever they want. Yeah,
I can understand that, but it's their choice.
Just a quick few hellos, maybe. I started to ignore the peanut gallery. Chauncey, I think you got a shout out. Jeff Myers in the house. What's up, dude? Sorry to just. We're having fun with Mazzy's book here. I scored it on a whim, and I'm happy to be talking about
tonight for whatever reason.
I was waiting for a moment to kind of lure you into this trap. I was kind of like, it wasn't really the page by page play I was thinking.
I've been playing music literally since noon, and it's 7 o'clock now. So I've been like.
What were you listening to? Let's have a little music moment. What were you listening to?
I went to a California Mo with Krug, Stills and Nash and Stephen Stills. I was listening and comparing the new Rhino Hi-Fi Wilco, the debut album, to another version because I'm going to do a video on that. I was listening to this David Lowery album, which I adore. He was the main guy in both Cracker and Kemper Van Beethoven.
Right. I heard you talking about that.
And he put a 3-record autobiographical album out, which is bizarre, which is good. It's very Americana, very folksy. I listened to that again. What else did I listen to? I forgot what else I listened to, but it's been music all day. I've been just doing stuff around the house, and it's
the afternoon. It's a late afternoon. It's 4 or 5 p.m., right?
It's 7:20 now.
Okay, it's late. All right, it's getting.
And it's 73 degrees now.
Oh, it's
7:20. It's warm.
That's nice. Yeah.
It's going to be 84 on Sunday. 80s in early next week.
Oh, my homie David here, M Fidelli says they stayed at the Hilton. I know that was a comment a while ago. Did they stay at the Hilton? They stayed at the one where maybe it was the Hilton. Maybe did they come here more than once? 65. They came here, played 5 nights, I think. Did they come here again? Maybe.
I don't know. I don't think
maybe they never did. Yeah. Okay. BK in the house. Russell, Dagon, Chauncey, Marty. If that's really Marty, there was another fake Marty in here a little while ago.
Richard, who are you talking about? Who's pump? Who's disgusting? Is there someone being an asshole? I'm sorry, brother. Okay, get rid of Clown Fist.
Who's Clown Fist?
No, go to the very end, the second last.
I'm skipping past your comments.
I don't know who that is, but it's some bullshit.
Okay, do we need to delete him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's okay.
Okay, let me get you out of here, Clown Fist. You got to go away.
Bye.
Okay.
Why can't you just create content? And
it's toxic. It's toxic positivity. I've accepted it. My happy-go-lucky vibe. People. It validates their misery. Is what it does.
Yeah, and they're miserable people that have no concept of creativity, can't do anything on their own, and so they have to fuck things up for everyone else.
So it's sad. I pity them. So anyway, Concert Buddy. I see a bunch of you guys. Sorry to just be going on about the book here, but it's that kind of thing. Marty is maybe that it really is the real Marty. Just picked up your book on eBay. I expect especially sincere and endearing description when it comes. Okay,
of course.
Richard, Marty. Okay, that could be what fake Marty. I think there was a fake Marty.
Oh, The Children of Men is a great film. Which location?
Oh, that's a good
this
one,
is where it's hard, Russell. When you say comment, we don't know what to associate to. Children of Men is a fantastic movie. I love that movie.
Very good movie.
But I don't know which location you're talking about. London, obviously.
Okay, can we continue? I want to go through it.
This is your show. You can do it.
What is like? It's weird. It's making it weird. Well, what's this? Oh, Harrods. This is the famous department store, and then this is Heathrow Airport, and then Singles. What's this? A record store. HMV record store. Cool. His master's
voice. Back open now. It's closed for now. When we were there, those window displays at the bottom right for the McCartney 2 album, those stand-ups of Paul McCartney. Those were in the window when we were there in 1980 when McCartney 2 came out.
Hey, I got a little morsel of trivia you might not know about. Go look at a maybe I brought it up before, but like go look at a picture of Nipper. Go look at the most viewed out version, the most wide angle version that you can find, and you will notice that Nipper is sitting on a very strange object. And the object that he may be sitting on, and it's not that hard to tell what it could be, obviously a coffin.
Oh, I
And it
didn't.
said that Nipper is a little bit perplexed that he can still hear his master's voice, even though he's passed on. Yeah, you can call me.
Didn't know that. Okay, let me. That makes sense because his master's voice. He's okay. I get it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Richard, the music maniac, is saying, "Can we please talk about the video Ricefield made about Tokyo record store dedicated to the Beatles?" Mazzy would love it. I don't know that video. I don't watch Ricefield, so I'm sure it's great, but I don't watch it, so I don't know.
I'm sure it's great too. I don't know about it either.
Do you know a record store that's dedicated to the Beatles in Tokyo?
Yeah. There's a place in
you should do your version, then I'll watch it.
Yeah. I don't have any I don't really I don't run into him, and I don't know about his videos so much, but I'm sure it's a good one. I'll go watch it. Yeah, there's not that there's yeah, I mean yeah. I hope it was a good video. Yeah, I mean, I think anybody there's a handful of YouTube voices here in Tokyo, and I hope they invite you guys to come over here and hang out. So and HMV I think now is a Tokyo brand. I'm not totally sure, but I think the Japanese bought HMV. I think they own Power, and they also own HMV.
Well, HMV was a bigger company, and they had stores. In fact, they were originally owned by EMI, I think.
Okay, here's a picture of John and Yoko, illustrated by Mason's Yard Indica Gallery. That was
part of John Lennon's erotic lithograph series.
Listen Gallery. What's Listen Gallery? Listen. I feel I've heard this before. Okay.
Photo gallery in London.
Okay, a London Arts Gallery. This is like where's the avant-garde gallery? Like when Paul was tapping into like the little bit out there stuff, was it galleries or was it experience?
It was everything. It's funny.
It was everything.
Everyone likes to say John Lennon's a real artistic, arty one and out there one because of Yoko, but at this time, think about it. John, George, and Ringo were living in the suburbs. Okay, London suburbs. Paul was in London. He was going to see Stockhausen performances, art shows, avant-garde stuff. He was the one tuned in to shit that was happening in London.
There's the Great Rock and Roll Swindle marquee.
Well, when we went in 1980, that had just opened up at the Lyceum or whatever.
Lyceum, yep. Lyceum's here. And the pavilion. What's this? London Pavilion was here, maybe, and the Lyceum's over on this side. And Lennon played the Lyceum. Are those?
Yeah, I don't played an event there.
Okay.
Pete Best is old. That's why he retired. I don't know exactly why.
Wow, what's going on here? Okay, Madame Tussauds
Wax Museum. Was the wax
All right,
museum.
That's pretty cool. And Marylebone Registrar.
That's where Paul and Linda and I forgot which other Beatle got married.
Okay, got married there. All right, that's cool.
So we just did a lot of things that around the Beatles' lives,
Well, this is Bald John Lennon, maybe. Is that what's going on? No, who is that? Is that Bald Paul? Who is
Ringo,
that?
I think.
No. Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Before they put the wig on.
Okay. God, that's weird.
Wax figure.
That is weird. They don't look right. George looks extremely bizarre. That's weird. Paul looks pretty good.
You ever been to the Wax Museum?
I can't say I have, Mazzy. I don't think I've ever been.
Exact. When you get close up, they don't look exact. I didn't go to Madame Tussauds this time, but I've been there before.
Okay, here's Marylebone. Marylebone continued. There's a service.
Is that Ringo or is that
Ringo's
Paul?
Wedding? Yeah. Did you go to Ringo? Did you attend Ringo's wedding?
I was not invited. He married Barbara Bach there. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Paul and Linda got married there.
Okay, cool.
I forgot.
And this is still in London, right? We haven't moved away.
We haven't gone to Liverpool.
Okay. Soho Square. What's this place?
MPL
Communications.
That's Paul McCartney's office in Soho Square. To this day, it's still his office.
I'm going to take this. Hold on, so I don't. Just a second. Okay, here's like a 5 o'clock Shadow Paul. He's pretty 5 o'clocky.
Yeah, that's a bad scan of whatever we did.
Oh, okay.
We weren't
That's
even
still not
scanning.
bad.
I think I forgot how we got that. Someone sent us that picture in front of MPL, and we used it. And if I was ever to do a repress, I would replace that photo.
So what? Wait, MPL's his office, and I'm sorry, I didn't catch like
It's
what.
McCartney Productions Limited,
Okay, I don't know
and
about
his
that.
publishing company. He's there a lot. I mean, when he's in London,
Okay.
it's just off of Oxford Street. We actually stole his garbage. It was good.
Oh, this is the place where you stole the garbage?
We walked by one night. It just happened to be garbage night. And funny, I have somewhere still.
The garbage can's right
There are
here.
all these letters in broken English from Japanese fans upset when Paul McCartney, because this was a few months after Paul McCartney was busted in Japan.
Right. Yeah, that was they have like a 99% conviction rate. They'll throw you in jail for anything and they can keep you like without, what do they call it?
He was there like 10 days.
Yeah,
Which was a lot for
And he finally, I think probably what happened is he probably admitted to whatever he had and got deported.
I bet you like it was Linda's. He should have said it's hers.
No, he probably denied it. I've heard the story before. I mean, they didn't treat him any differently than they treated the other people. I've been once or twice to go, not me personally, but I've gone to visit my buddies who they're like, get me out of here. Like, you got to admit guilt, even when you're not guilty. And you just got to be like, get me the fuck out of this country. I don't care. I'm never coming back. And they're like, good riddance. Bye. Never fuck around here again. There's like stories of like, Australia, just like people coming here with like a pocket knife on their
Right.
pocket, and they're just like, the police are like, nope, jail time, and you're like,
that's not legal in Japan, is it?
No, very illegal, as is everything. You can find it; it's all over, but it's extremely illegal.
I would never. In fact, when we did, there's a section we went West Malling Airfield where Magic Mystery Tour was filmed, part of it, and someone gave us some hash. And we were driving around the airfield. It's like a circular thing if you saw a Magic Mystery Tour. And this truck was pulling up it was like a foot beyond a football field. And we saw this truck pulling on because it was vacant. And we were driving around and we got so paranoid this truck pulled on it. They didn't even come near us, but we drove around. We started throwing the hash out the window.
Oh, God.
Two things.
Oh, shit.
Because I'm, in a foreign country, I don't go there.
No, thank you. That's for me. It's like
someone had given it to us, and we thought maybe
no, thanks. Yeah, I'll tell you a story. I was in India, and this girl, I ran into a Japanese girl who I'd met in Thailand about 3 months earlier. And I was like, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm studying tablas." And when did you get here? And I was like, today. And she's like, oh, let me show you around. And like, it was a little thing, and she's like, oh, this is where you should go get sweets. And this is where I get my chai every day. And this is the little chapati. And if you hang out here, and let me take you, she's like, you want to go get a lassi? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And so she's really cute. The singer girl who we played some shows in Thailand together.
That's how it starts.
Right. And then, I'm still homies with her, but then she's like, we go into the lassi shop, and she's like, oh, 2 banana lassis or whatever. And the guy's like, you want bong lassi? And she's like, you want bong lassi in your lassi? And I was like, sure. And she's like, okay, yeah, 1 for him. I'm okay. And he's like, do you want it medium or light, medium, or strong? And I was like, strong, I guess. Give me the good stuff, I had no idea what I was agreeing to. I thought it was like a cocktail, And then about an hour, not even like 30 minutes later, I was like, I don't feel good. And she's like, well, you took a strong bong lassi. And I was like, or no, what was it? I think I said, let's go get it. Maybe I forgot what had happened. She's like, no, there's no alcohol in this town. There's no alcohol in Varanasi. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, this is like a dry state. It's like a holy place. There's no alcohol here. I'm like, what did we just have? And she's like, you don't know what that was? And I was like, oh no. And I was like, oh no. And man, it got really dark there. It got scary.
This time, going back to when in the 70s, it was a big deal going to Amsterdam because they had all the hash bars.
Right.
Yeah. You could smoke in Amsterdam. It was legal.
We went to British Columbia. We went to Vancouver like forever ago, before it was, I don't know what's going on in BC now, but like we went there when there was this place called Blunt Brothers that eventually got bombed. And yeah, it was this coffee shop, a sort of Amsterdamish light coffee shop. And we walked in there and we're like, we didn't see, like, how does this work? And they just sell coffee. And we're like, hi, where's the special coffee. And they're like, here? And they're like, yeah, this is the special coffee place, right? And they're like, no, if you want to enjoy some coffee here and play a game of chess or whatever, you're welcome to. We don't sell it, but if you want to you partake, it's, you know. And we're like, oh, okay. So my friend sort of like pushed me to go ask, because he was like, we were too chicken to go ask. And then before I even got back to him to report back what the barista had told me, somebody had like approached me and was like, you guys looking for something? And we were like, oh, okay, is that how this works? And yeah, anyway. But here it's like, I got a house, I got a kid, and I don't have any interest anyway. But even if I did, it's just like, dude, get deported and never lose everything I have.
Yeah, I
No
wouldn't do
thanks.
that either.
No
Yeah.
way. No way. Okay, so the trash guys are beeping outside my house, but let's just the synagogue, New London Synagogue. You had to go here because you just had to like.
Yeah, that's where Brian Epstein, they had the services after Brian died. He was Jewish.
Okay, Brian were the Beatles, were any of them half Jewish or Jewish?
No.
None of them were.
No, but Paul married a Jew. Linda Eastman was Jewish.
Linda's Jewish. She's the least. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Brian Epstein and of course Linda Eastman. And Linda is like new. Okay, she's Eastman Kodak, right? That's
no, she's not. That was a no.
Really?
Not Eastman.
No, you're kidding me.
Her father and brother, big high-end attorneys, not Eastman.
Really? I had that wrong all these years.
A lot of people thought that at the time. No, not
Eastman. Interesting. Okay. So
apparently there's a documentary. I want to watch it. I don't know if it's where it's showing. A fairly new documentary on Polaroid. That really interests me.
I want to see that too.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but it's around. So eventually,
Fujifilm, who made they made the Polaroid, they made the peel apart Polaroid film after Polaroid went bankrupt. Polaroid was, like Edward Land was a huge inspiration to Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
And Polaroid could have, like the same way that IBM or Xerox could have been an IBM or a Windows, or the company that just didn't quite get managed in the right direction. Polaroid, they lost their visionary at like too early, and they just got mismanaged into obscurity.
Richard, read the room, Richard. We're not talking about Morrissey Homecoming in Manchester. That's not what this discussion.
Oh, is somebody do I need to?
No, he's a good guy.
Are we sure? He just made his account like 5 days ago.
He's a good guy.
Are you sure?
If it's
Richard, this account got made May 5th, 2025, a month ago.
Well, then maybe it's not the real one, but the Richard Music Maniac is.
I think that's you're going.
He's not saying. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, bye, Richard. Sorry. Okay, I'm deleting this Marty too. I think. Yeah, if I'm deleting the wrong people, message me later and tell me that you deleted me, but it's the wrong one. Oh, sorry, Peanut Gallery, if there's a lot of troublemakers here. I'm attract them. They're like mosquitoes. I've just got the sweet blood for them or something. Yeah, sorry about it. Yornimer in the house. Sup, dude? Okay. Nice family picture. I'll let you go here, Mazzy. I'll let you go. We'll just sit through some of these.
Go through a few more. Royal
Albert Hall.
There might be good ones. Go by. Keep going.
Okay. Let's see here.
Find something interesting.
Walls Ice Cream, Wembley. Okay, here they are doing what? Oh, this is the Wax Museum again.
Keep going.
Sign the Beatles now. What's this?
That was just like graffiti on a wall.
Okay.
We just took a picture.
That's cool.
Now these are the places they were born. The houses they were born.
This is, whose house would this be? Ringo's house. This is Ringo's.
Okay.
And this is the hospital where he was born. Okay, there's English addresses here. Wow, this is really interesting. Yeah. Okay, this is Paul's house. Okay, and again, hand-colored images. I love them. They're cool,
I like
right?
them there, actually, yeah.
Yeah, childhood homes. This is his rich auntie's house, right?
Yeah,
this
is rich, but she was middle class.
Okay. And here they are smoking out back. That's pretty cool. John's cooking some toast and tea. That's pretty nice. Childhood homes. That's Menlo, right? Is Menlo and Menlove?
Yeah.
Menlo Ave.
Menlove Avenue.
That's the compilation.
The house was called Mendips.
Okay, Mendips. The house had a name, Mendips.
Yes.
Okay. Paul McCartney's house. I've seen this one's still around. Paul's gone and visited. Oh, cute Paul. Look how cute he is. Goodness gracious. And here's George's place. What did you think of Across the Universe?
I loved it.
I loved it too. I
Some
totally
people
loved
don't
it.
like it, thought it was, but I like it. T-Bone Burnett arranged the music and turned those Beatles songs inside out, and it could have been terrible, but I loved it and
I freaking yeah.
that director, Julie Taymor, did Titus and she created on Broadway The Lion King and did some
Okay.
amazing stuff with her costuming and arrangements. I liked it a lot, actually.
I was blown away by it. I was kind of floored by it.
The
I was in
vinyl of that
tears.
goes for a shitload of money, so they should reissue that on like vinyl.
The soundtrack of Across the
Yeah,
Universe?
I have a
Oh,
CD
that'd
of
be
it on
interesting.
vinyl.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. I just thought like the scenes of them sort of like, one of the boys are going off on tour and he's saying goodbye to the girl and they're in the back alleys of these kinds of like, I like looking at this. It's such a different world to me. Like I just
For
never saw like
This
never
is
grew up.
post-war.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Well, World War II.
Little grim, little, there was somebody I saw, who was it? Somebody was talking to, did you see the quote about the chocolate bar? Did you see that recently? I forgot who said it. It was like two unlikely characters. It was like Joe Rogan talking to like Stuart Copeland or something. I forgot what it was, but it was one of them saying that Paul was driving around. It was Jimmy. I forgot what it was, but anyway, Paul's driving. He's recounting this story of him. He's driving around somebody, and he's showing them.
Oh, I know.
Liverpool.
That was Corrigan, or what's his name? The British guy who used to have a talk show.
I don't think it was that one. It may have been, but I don't know. But he's talking
that
about
was
the
when he
chocolate.
drives around Liverpool. They go to the
There's
pub.
another one of these. But Paul's driving around saying, "This is the church we're in. This is the choir, and this is the house, and this." And he said, and he says, "This is the corner.
This is the church. This is the people. This is the."
Look inside here, all the people. But he said, "This is the intersection where John broke off half of his chocolate bar and gave it to me." You heard the story?
Yeah, and I can't remember it.
And he says that, like in post-war UK, like the like chocolate was like a very luxurious thing, and you like to have a whole Cadbury bar, like you'd give your mates a square of it. You wouldn't break off a whole half of it and give it to your buddy. It'd just be entirely too magnanimous. And he talks about how like that was significant because it signified that they were like they were like blood brothers, 50-50, all in, giving you half my Cadbury bar. That was meaningful to Paul. He remembered it like, however many years later. Maybe it was carpool karaoke. I thought it was something else.
Okay, go past these. Go past these.
Okay.
Let's see, there's some. Keep going.
Okay, Corey, but there's this is the Corey
Bank
Grammar. That's where they get the Corey men. Okay, Liverpool schools. Ooh,
keep going. The schools.
Wait a second. Okay, these are their old schoolmates and arts class, and look at these bruisers. There they are, the Corey men. Maybe afterwards. London, the Casbah Club. Okay. Look at these old sneakers, loafers. Oh my God, the pompadours. They look so cool. There's
they had the drummer. Tommy Moore was their
Tommy
drummer.
Moore. Okay, who's over here? That's who's on the guitar? That's
Stuart. I can't see. That's probably
yeah. And then the
Jacaranda
Club.
Coffee bar club owned by Alan Williams, who was their first manager. And David and I stayed at Alan Williams' house in 1980 when we did the book. He had a house. And he had turned the old sign into a coffee table.
Oh, groovy! That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I can see. Do you remember?
Can we get rid of this guy, Breeze? We got another fuck up.
God damn, you guys, get the fuck out of here!
It happens once in a while. Whatever.
I know it's because I.
Don't worry about it. Just
Okay. Do you remember this being your photo? Do you remember? Because I see some sneak shoes in here. Would these be your shoes?
Those are my feet.
Look what are these? These are kind of something little hippie-ish. These are look like little moccasin kind of deals. I mean, they're kind of funny. They look like
canvas shoes. I don't.
Yeah, they look pretty cool. I dig them. Okay. Yeah. And then Blue Angel continued. Let's see, Litherland Town Hall.
Keep going.
All right. Litherland. Oh, wait, there's the Cavern Club.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where the Cavern Club. Wow, that's a cool street. Look at that. Now that must have been a license photo. There's a cool
No,
Volkswagen.
it's funny. We took that
Really?
photo, and those guys were walking
Wow.
there. But
That's
then,
cool.
wait a second. Yeah, we took that photo, and those guys were walking there. But then, if you look at the next page or the next couple of pages, we licensed
Okay.
those, some of
Okay.
those. But the ones on the right, Grapes Pub is across the street. Dave and I were
Okay.
there. The cavern had been torn down. When we were there, the cavern had not been rebuilt. If you go to the next page, look at that, the bottom left.
Okay. The car.
Parking lot is where the cavern was.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking. Although that is a nice
has
car.
been rebuilt next door, and it's now a thriving place.
Okay, what a travesty. There's a cool like Lancia or something. Some cool Citroen, cool cars. Oh man, that's who thought that? Oh, Sentimental Journey. I have this record. I like. Oh, they're cool. You went to the real place. All right, cool.
Yep.
Empress Pub.
And Ringo lived down the road to the right of the pub.
Lime Street, Epstein here. Penny Lane. Oh, this is the one where, in that carpool karaoke thing, they go in there to the oh no, this is saloon, hairdressing saloon. Okay,
that's and see that little picture.
The barber shop. That's the one, right?
Picture is a shelter in the middle of the roundabout. The little picture.
Oh, get out! That's cool. Wait.
Where you wait for the bus there.
Wait, what's the lyric again? What is it?
In the middle of the shelter of the roundabout.
Oh, that's awesome.
There's a line that says "fish and finger pies."
Okay, God, I don't even know it.
You know what that is?
No.
Fish and finger pies was Liverpool slang for finger fucking.
Fish and finger pies. Okay.
Think about it.
God, that's so tasteless. That's funny. That's funny. Fish and finger pies. That's funny that they snuck that into a song.
And no one knew. I mean, obviously people knew.
That's funny. Okay, some double-decker buses. Here's Strawberry Fields.
Yeah.
And that was like what? An orphanage, right?
It was an orphanage, yeah.
Okay. And it was just like, what was the affinity for it's like John? Nobody lived there.
Around the corner. I mean, they all lived near there. It was around the corner from Penny Lane. It's so funny because that single that came out, Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields, were both about A-B side about Liverpool.
Right.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, right. And it's just so Paul and John, right?
One of the pictures there off to the right. I don't know if it's that Penny Lane picture. You can see me walking off frame. Is that the one?
Don't know.
The black and white one. Look at the far right. Go back. Or there. Go to the far right.
Oh, this is you walking out of frame here at Strawberry Field.
David took that. That's me walking out of frame.
All right, you're officially documented. I like how the bus is coming out of the frame here. A nice little design touch. Okay.
Yeah, we took decent pictures actually.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Okay, Strawberry Fields in color here, with the red wrought iron, where they're all looking through on maybe the back cover of Let It Be or something like that, right?
There's a different. No, you're thinking of they go through a fence on the Blue and Red album, but that's in London.
That's right. Okay.
That's in London.
Okay. Oh, it's not this place. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. St. Peter's Church, where they were choir boys, maybe, or Paul was.
I forgot. You can go through these. Keep going. Keep going.
Wow, where's that?
That's Friar Park.
God, I've never seen it that colorful. That's crazy.
That is that's the gatehouse. That's not even the main house.
Oh, you're right. It doesn't quite look
I think there's 3 or 4 buildings on the property.
Look at this. This is the gatehouse with this sort of oxidized green copper. Yeah, right. Yeah. That's stunning. Look at that place. I wonder how old that place is. Okay, we'll just stay here.
There's a whole story about that, but I don't.
Okay, you went to the Straits of Gibraltar, maybe here.
We didn't go to Gibraltar, but the song "Ballad on Yoko" documents, like the Amsterdam Hilton at the top.
There they are with the license, the marriage license,
Hampton, all that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. The bed piece, the bed in, the wedding album. Okay, Maharishi. I've been to the Beatles ashram in India, Mazzi, and Rishikesh. On the road to Rishikesh. I've been there. I've been to the actual place. I'll make a video about it someday. Here, who's this? This is a Beatle, maybe.
Which one? That's George Harrison at his house in Esher.
Okay. Wow. There's the Friar Park. That's still the gatehouse. That's not.
No, that's the gate. Yeah. That's That's
Oh,
not
here's
the
the fuck. That
That's
place
the
is
main house.
huge.
We had to find that picture because we couldn't get in to take it. That's the main
Oh
house.
my God. Can you imagine walking into the place and being like, we'll take it. I'll
And
take it.
George and
This
his
will be
family,
mine.
and over the decades, 50 years now, they really fixed up the gardens. It was in really disarray. It had been a Catholic kind of girls' school nunnery for a while in disrepair. And it's, I hope it turns into something like, I'd like to say a museum or something down the line when the Harrisons leave it eventually. I don't know.
Man, it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. The George Harrison's just whole did he had like Lamborghinis or something? Like he had like
He was
crazy
into
cars,
racing cars.
right? And
The
like,
Formula One.
Life of Brian and
He used to
like
go to Formula One racing things.
he's such an interesting cat. And I listened to his guitar. I mean, it's just yeah. It's hard. I've grown into George. I was super John fan forever, and then people are like, no, you're more like Paul. Then you're like, no, I'm not. I'm a tormented dark artist. No, you're not. Now I'm just like, after I've kind of grown to know George over the years,
And now you're more
George is
spiritual.
George. No, I'm not exactly spiritual. Where's this? Lady Mitchell Hall,
Oh,
Cambridge.
that's where John Yoko did a performance.
Okay, really interesting. Okay, and Stonehenge, did the band ever play it? Nobody played at Stonehenge.
No, but in the movie Help, there's a whole scene at
Okay,
Stonehenge.
they knock over Stonehenge or something like
They
that.
don't knock it over. That's
Okay.
like Spinal
Okay.
Tap or something.
Okay, Ringo's got a nice little vinyl collection right here, maybe about 100 or so records.
Yeah.
That's the extent of his record collection. He's got some bongos, some gold records here. Is he still married to the same?
She died.
Okay.
But died after he got divorced. He married Barbara Bach, the Bond girl.
Okay, I don't know about that. All right, so I saw that Abbey Road was the first British release that didn't have the Beatles' name on the cover of the album or the title of the record, but that made me think like, wait, what about like Hey Jude? That also didn't have the name on it.
That was later. Yeah.
That was okay. Wait. So where does Hey Jude fit in? Sorry.
Well, okay. Hey Jude came out. Was it? When was it?
Like
before Abbey Road. It was a comp that it was what's his name? Alan Klein's wanted to put a comp out. As much as I liked the comp, it had all these great singles on it. Obviously,
doesn't it have a Hey Bulldog on it, or is that Yellow?
No, that was on Yellow Submarine. But the problem with it for me was they put like "Can't Buy Me Love." They put two old songs that don't fit with the time.
Right.
Hey Jude, Old Brown Shoe. It's a great comp, actually.
It has "Don't Let Me Down" on that. I think that's the only one that it's on. Maybe
that version of it. Yeah. Until later, there was a different mix later on a single. It was a B-side of a single. I'm forgetting right now. But what's great about Hey Jude, if you get the first pressing, the very first pressing was called Hey. If you look on the spine, is called The Beatles Again, and they changed the title to Hey Jude.
I don't know about that. Okay, I don't know.
And that's the very last photo shoot of the band together by Ethan Russell.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I this one's a weird one. The John looks so. Yeah, John. They all look like it's like there's something sort of.
Which one?
Funeral-esque about it, you know.
When you think about it, they kind of look like. Wait, which one are you looking at?
The Hey Jude.
Yeah,
one.
They kind of think about the time. They look like the band, you know.
Yeah.
That
they do.
Sort of Civil War kind of
yeah.
retro thing that was happening.
Yeah. Ringo in his attic here, playing like darts, maybe up there, and them here in the white room with the white piano. And dang, like
that's where the song Imagine.
Figure here.
The video Imagine where John's at the piano,
right, playing which he was sort of lampooned for because is this like ostentatious thing, and he's singing Imagine.
No possession.
Right? Okay,
but there's no furniture in the house.
Okay. And then the yellow, what's this one? Magical Mystery Tour.
Now that's me looking at the Magic Mystery EP.
Okay, I can see your camera shot here.
Is the actual location where the picture was taken.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. We set that. I like that shot actually.
That's pretty cool. Magical Mystery Tour is
That's all torn
weird,
down now. I think it's
crazy. Okay.
condos and shopping
What
malls.
was it? What do we know what it was?
Which one are you looking at?
I mean, these
Yeah,
structures.
it was Westmoreland Airfield. World War II, they build these structures and the planes would be parked behind it to protect it from the Blitz and the bombings.
Okay, wow, intense.
Yeah.
Okay. They have these in Japan. They have these mounds that are little airplane hangars. They house like one airplane, and there's these mounds that are out there that they were hiding the airplanes under. Hamburg. Did you guys go to Hamburg?
Yep, we took all these pictures.
Wow, groovy.
That's the Reeperbahn. That's where the strip
the
clubs are.
Reeperbahn, man,
Clubs
I'd
they
love to
played
go
every
there.
night.
Man, I've never been. I would love to go. I wonder if it's still like that. Mungo Jerry was playing on 6/6 with Tony Sheridan.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. What's that? That's the program for a show that's happening
That
while
was
you
like
guys were
all
visiting?
like that
Wow,
night.
interesting. Mungo, that's
We
pretty
missed
good.
the show, and we can't believe we missed the show.
Okay, wow, bummer.
Long story, but
Okay. Hamburg clubs, man, so cool. And then the old John Lennon Colibri, the Colibri Club. Wow, all these places look supremely cool. They must have been having the best time. It must have been the greatest.
they were like barely
Right?
21.
So cool. Yeah, but George got deported, right? He's too young. He
First time he got deported.
So cool. It's so cool. I mean, Germany, just like I've been to Berlin a handful of times, and there's just this seedy thing to it that's just so interesting. And
I've
fun.
never been to Berlin. I really want to go to Berlin.
But it's probably like, okay, it's probably got a little bit of Hamburg. Hamburg's got a little bit of Berlin. Berlin's got a little bit of Did I skip something?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, no. Well, I had a good time looking at it. I hope I didn't steal the excitement from anybody else picking it up. Oh, well, now hold on. There's a great photo here in the back. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Let's just look at this last picture. British Sailor Society. There's young George and Paul. I've never seen this photo.
We licensed that from Jürgen Vollmer.
That's pretty cool. Well, now I'm going to have to get the English version so I can actually read it, but you guys have to see this image. Okay, so here's the bibliography. Thank you very much. Any notable thank yous we got to reach out and note here?
Not that you would know.
Okay. Family and friends. Then look at this picture. God, I want to zoom in on this. That's
in front of Savile Row where the rooftop concert was.
Is that coming in any value?
I'm on the left.
That picture is worth the price of the book right there. Oh my God, hold on. I got to look at this thing. Is that you in the sunglasses?
I'm on the left.
Dang. The fuck, Mazzy?
When you're young, you have hair. I was 26 then.
That's pretty fucking hip, dude. You don't get, you look like a fucking Beastie Boy, dude. That's a fucking good shot, dude. What a great, this is not EM.
That's Savile Row. That's where the rooftop concert was in Get Back. That was Apple Records. That was their office.
Well, that was fun.
Boring the audience now. You need to
Sorry, guys. That was fun. I appreciate that. Hey, wait. Before you go, yeah, keep going.
I'm a fish head here, and we didn't even talk about fish.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, I'll close this out with a fish. I have a question for you. Have you ever cried? I'm guessing the answer is a definitive no. Have you ever cried on camera before? Have you ever cried on a YouTube video before, or a live stream, perhaps?
Not on a live stream. I've teared up definitely on. I've got emotional a couple of things. I've done a couple of tributes to a couple of friends who passed, and I talked about reminiscing about them. My friend Vernon, who hired me at a record store. My friend Coleman. We did this whole Coleman collection thing. Right. On those, I didn't cry with tears, but I definitely choked up and had moments. So yeah,
I had the video I made this morning was I was passing through it, and I knew it was coming, and I knew that if I was going to do it, I was going to have to get through this thing, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to get through it unscathed, and I didn't. I barely, I'm like choking. I'm like, my voice is cracking the entire thing. It's long, and there's a moment where I have to like walk away from the camera and like collect myself, and I'm like, I'm going to put myself out there for all to lampoon me, but it's a heartfelt video about.
There's always going to be someone that's going to knock.
Do you think I should do it? Okay.
Well,
It's
I
pretty
don't
vulnerable.
I wouldn't, for me, I'm not, maybe different to some people. I don't know. I don't hold anything back. I just say whatever I fucking want to say. It's the difference now. It's sort of a freedom with having a YouTube channel, because for 38 years I was a photo agent, and you have to balance out representing your photographers, your artist. They're your clients, and you have a combo connection, and you want to get work, so you have to kind of grease the wheel a little bit. I don't know if that's the word, but promote the artist, and you have to make them wanting to come back for more. Now, ultimately, the photographer and the production, if they like it, they'll come back, whatever I do or not. But I'm not going to gouge them for more money. I'm not, I want to make as much as I can, but I want to protect my artist, and also at the same time make the client feel they're getting value in the ease of getting the production. And I have to sometimes bite my lips about saying something when shit happens. My photographers would bitch to me about clients, but I have to be okay, smile a little bit. I can talk to them about it, but I have to be cool to the client. Now with my YouTube, I can say anything. I can say political. I can say fuck you. And I take responsibility, and I do that shit, not constantly. I talk a little about politics. Every time I do, maybe a handful of people get all pissed off. I'm out of here, unsubscribe, whatever. But that's real for me. I can do that. And if I lose a handful, I usually lose 5 people and I gain 20 more. So, and they know that, but I don't like push it all the time. I do a little snarky innuendo. I have a video coming out. I recorded like 3 videos in the last 2 days. And I do some little political thing, which lasts 40 seconds, maybe at the most. And it just came about. I know I did a second compact disc video, and I say something about the CDC, but I talk about the CDC, not the health thing and the government thing, but the CDC as a compact disc community. I kind of do a little take on, but then I go like,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like
So,
that.
But I do whatever I want to do, and there is freedom, which what I'm doing now.
I think I'm gonna do it. It's pretty vulnerable, but it's meaningful, and I kind of want. I'm making some of these videos. Really, I mean, all these guys, they say you got to make it. You got to make them with the viewer in mind. But sometimes I want to make them so that I want to go back and see what I was thinking. 2 years ago. 2 years from now, I want to see what I was thinking then, and be like, oh God, it's so cringe, or like, oh, that was actually, there was something there, or I've come a long way since that time. So I think I'm gonna put it out there. I'll leave it to you. I'll say I won't give it away. I was about to give it away, but I will mention a record or two. Just to I picked up a recent copy of Andy Schauf. Do you know Andy Schauf? Put him on your list so people to know about. SHAUF, anti-folk New Yorker, anti-folk kind of thing. Andy Schauf. Okay, I took a chance on I have another record by these young and upcoming guys who are in the jam scene called Goose. I have another one of their records, but I found a cheap one that I think is highly expensive. I'm not sure if I'm in love with this, but this ought to be something that you can like. Waxahachie, you have any of her records? Katie Crutchfield, something that you would probably, I'm imagining, like singer songwriter kind of thing. A little bit of like Cat Power meets like I don't know,
I know.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. But look out! I'll look out for I'll look out for your video. Look out for mine, and I'll wish you a rest.
I want to say shout out Rob Walker's in the audience. I like Rob. Okay. Rob and I met in London twice, and he's always a little snarky and a little direct, which actually I appreciate from Manchester. Hey, are you going to see Morrissey on the Homecoming in Manchester, Rob? And he just did his 200th video. So he just posted his 200th video. So congratulations.
Congratulations on that. I owe Rob, I feel a debt of gratitude for Rob Walker. He kind of got me past the 100 subscriber mark, which I appreciate from him. Yeah. And he is, yes, the de facto leader of the vinyl community.
I think Rob and I like to tease each other. So
Yeah, I don't mind some teasing. It's the sort of like venomous, like ugliness
He's
that I
not that.
don't really.
He's not
No, no,
that at
no,
all.
no, no, not at
He's not
all.
that.
But I will say to thanks to Yornimer and James Farley and Russell S. You left a gajillion comments, and sorry I didn't really get to him in Wyoming Dave
I
and
love that
Cesar.
Jeff's going to see the residents. I've seen them a handful of times. As you know, they're out there. They're wild. But that's what's brilliant about them. I don't think they do the eyeball. Let me know if they still do the eyeballs. I know one eyeball was stolen, so they do something else now. So I have no idea what they do. So
I deleted some people that I would have thought were like not, maybe it was friendly fire. Sorry if I deleted you. Just send me a text and said that was the real me. You deleted the real me, and I'll gladly add you back. Sorry about
hey,
that.
Jeff, Manny just makes me sound more Jewish than Mazzy. That's all. That's all. They're playing
Uh,
Eskimo. I have Eskimo. Okay.
what's Eskimo?
It's a album project that the Residents were this
Oh, the resident.
avant-garde
Yeah, I know the
arts.
residents for sure.
Yeah,
I don't remember Eskimo.
out of
I don't
San
really know their
Francisco. I think they
discography
came
though.
from Texas originally, but they
Yeah, they're
started
cool.
incubated in San Francisco in the peninsula, and were like they did films and multi-image and kind of like the Tom Rashawn's Los Angeles Free Music Society, very similar to that. Where are they playing? Where are they playing, Jeff, in L.A.? What kind of venue?
He says
Curious.
Louisiana.
Louisiana, that's right.
Okay, cool.
Hey,
New
anything
Orleans.
east of Oakland is the same for me. Is the same until you hit New York.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay. All right, Mazzy, thanks for hanging out, dude. Appreciate it. It was fun. It was fun to go through that book. That was a well worth a 300. That's like a $2 investment. Very well worth it.
Totally cool.
It was a
Totally
lot
cool.
of knowledge and a lot of great photography and some good stories and a nice little video. So I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks, man.
All right.
Good time.
Take care, everyone.
Yeah, man. See you next time. See you,
Thanks.
man. Take care. Bye, everybody. Good night. Good morning. See you on the next video.